Hello everyone, it's me, Bear Hills. I'm back with another wild camp video. First one this year. Sorry about that. I've had a few personal issues going on, but we're back at it. Hoping to start putting up some more regular content for you guys. Especially, I'm looking to be passing my driving test soon, so I'll be able to go further afield. So that should be brilliant, because there's a lot of places I'd like to go. Like Dartmoor, the Lake District, New Forest, a few places. So, a lot to look forward to. But, it's good to see my camp from last year is still nice and sturdy. But that's irrelevant, because today, I'm not sleeping in a tent. I'm making a survival shelter. I'm going to be making a basic A-frame survival shelter from wild gathered materials. I have brought my tarp just in case, last resort, but my aim is to just leave that in my bag. I don't even want to think about using that. I'm going to try and keep full survival style. So my first time actually sleeping out in a proper built shelter. I've made plenty as a child, but sleeping in it is another matter, isn't it? There was a little bit of rain expected, so we'll see how I do. I've got a whole chicken that I'm going to spit over the fire. I've also brought some flour and a few little bits, and I'm going to make a bannock, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. It's a basic bread, survival bread. So yes, you're going to get to see me make a shelter, spit roast a whole chicken, bake a bannock on a flat stone on the fire, and just have a bit of a laugh. Looking forward to this one, guys. Let's set camp up. Right guys, first of all, I'm going to take down this birch, and I'm going to use it to make, I'm going to cut it in half probably, use it as two long beams, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them in just a second, after I cut this down. So, I'm going to be using the thickest and therefore the strongest length for the part that's going to be holding the most weight. This is going to be the cross beam that supports the main spine of the A-frame shelter. I'm going to wedge it in this Y here, this end, and since there's not a Y this end, I'm just going to have to lash it to this with some paracord. You can also just put the spine of the A-frame in a Y like this, and then create your A-frame shelter like that, but there doesn't seem to be one in a position that I want it, so this doesn't take much more effort, and it just means I'll have a lot more room to play around. Well, I see some people use absolutely loads of paracord when they bind stuff together, and it's just not necessary. If you've got decent paracord, it holds a lot more than you think. That is providing that you do a decent knot, which is not my specialty at all. But we'll see. I'm just going to tie it in a fashion that I think is going to work, and we'll find out in the middle of the night if it collapses on me, won't we? No, this should be fine. As long as you do it tight. Right, now we have our crossbeam secured. Time to put up the spine for the A-frame. It's as simple as that. Now, if you would put it directly in a Y shape of a tree, you wouldn't have to bind it. But since it's on here, stop it rolling, I'm just going to lash it lightly since I have the paracord laying around. And you might be tempted to cut off all these little dead branches sticking out of this A-frame spine here. But leave them on, because they'll help you when you come to laying the cross pieces. They'll help stop everything sliding, and you can use them kind of to stop everything sliding about. Next step is to lay all of the cross pieces, literally as simply as this. There you go. You do these at an angle, all down this side, all down the other side, and you'll eventually create a kind of warped pyramid shape leading down to the bottom. You'd be able to sleep inside. So make sure it's long enough for your body to fit in, or you'll have your head poking out and you'll get wet air when it rains. So I've come to realise that it's not necessarily the quickest and most efficient way is to do it in order, because obviously each stick you find is going to be a completely different length. So I gave up on that. I'm just going out and just finding sticks, and I'll just placing it wherever along here it looks like it fits, and eventually you'll complete the side. Right, now we've finished that, time to go and find some material to put on the top. So I haven't got much choice around here for things to use to thatch the roof, but there is a lot of this sweet chestnut, so that's a start. Well, the weather says it's not supposed to rain until tomorrow, but I keep hearing rumblings of thunder in the distance, so I'm really hoping it doesn't piss it down before I make this. Well, ideally it doesn't piss down at all, because I don't want to have to use the tarp. I feel like I've cheated, but let's crack on. Right, now it's just a case of hooking these on the end. Should be quite easy if you just use the branches themselves to hook over these little bits here like this. That's pretty much how you do it. See, it looks pretty covered from the outside, but if we take you on the inside, you'll probably still be able to see light coming through. Yeah, see? Still little bits of light. So I'm going to put a little bit more on. So what I've done is just lay some silver birch branches on top, just to kind of flatten down the sweet chestnut, and it seems to have done an okay job. We'll find out. Right. Facing back. Here it is. It's actually started to rain a little bit, and the thunder does seem to be getting a bit closer, so this could be an interesting experience. Got my tarp, and I'm just going to throw it over the top of this if it fucking starts leaking like crazy. I'm not silly. Now it's time to collect firewood. Now cleverly, all the little bits I was breaking off these ones, I've kept all the nice dry dead ones anyway, so I haven't really got to get any kindling. I've still got, there was a few of these laying around from last time I was here, and they're still dry, so fingers crossed. Right, time to collect some firewood. Putting the coat on, although I think I'm getting more wet through sweating than I would do from the rain in this bloody coat, so it might come off. Anyway, time to saw up some. I've cut down this dead standing birch. Perfect. Need to saw it up now. Let's see if we fit then. Feet first. Just about. It'll do. It'll have to do. Well, I'm sat in the shelter right now, warming up some water with this gas stove to make myself a drink. I think it's slowly filling up with rainwater as well. But yeah, just waiting for the rain to stop a little bit before I attempt to make the fire. If not, we'll have to do it in the rain. Right, well the rain seems to be levelling out. I think it's just a mild drizzle now. I have chucked the tarp over the top. I thought, swallow your pride, Craig. You got a tarp in there. Don't let all your shit get wet. So that's what I did. So I've decided to sacrifice myself getting wet so I can protect the fire. I put a few of these long ones up here, leaning up against this cross beam, so I can put my coat up here to try and create a dry patch at the bottom so I can nurture the fire in the beginning stages. Right, first things first, let's get one of these nice and dry logs and split them to create a platform. Nice and simple. Get a nice sturdy one at the bottom, lay your axe on top like this, give it a few little taps to get it dug in, and then give it a good whack. There we go, nice and easy. And you can keep repeating that, get smaller and smaller pieces depending on what your need is. Cheeky little platform to keep it off the wet ground. Hopefully it won't get wet on the top now with the coat up there. What I've got here is King Alfred's cake. It's a fungus. Well, I'm going to start a fire with this. I'm literally going to start a fire with a mushroom. That's the goal anyway. It burns like a charcoal briquette, and if you're lucky it will catch a spark. Just got to break it in half. Or into pieces, as I've done. And it should catch a spark with your flint striker. So we'll find out. There we go. See it glowing red? You can now use that to start a fire. It was way too damp to be doing that. It was not having it. I had embers. I've even got, there was embers growing on the actual base of this, but still no flame no matter how much I blew. It's just too humid, too wet. Should probably have tried to pick some dry grass. Okay, things didn't go to plan, but this is a good example and a good lesson of why you don't come with one plan of action. If I hadn't have brought a lighter today, there'd have been no chicken, no rest of the video, and a cold night. Always have a plan B. I've split these so they're nice and dry on the inside. If in doubt, give it a blow. See, even though I've split the wood and the wood is dry, it's still struggling. It's because it's so humid. So humid. It's just the air itself is wet. You know, I split the wood and in seconds it's damp. But it's getting there. Right, time to split the chicken. Nice and simple. you can see, I've split the middle of this. So once the split's in the middle of the chicken, should be able to pass this through. Find, as long as I can find a bit. Right. Found the bit, found the split in the wood. There you go. Chicken stays still. Now let's just get the fire going to cook this chicken. I was in such a rush to get the chicken on, I forgot to cover it in the seasoning I bought. Just got some olive oil, a little drench, a little smothering of that. Garlic. Shouldn't be doing that over the fire. Out. And because of that square thing, it doesn't slide around at all. Look at that. It's bloody hot. Should have done that earlier. So now I'm going to made a little mix up. Paprika, chili powder, thyme, garlic powder, pepper and salt. So I'm just going to give it a little dusting. So, while the chicken is cooking, I'm going to make up the dough for my bannock. Bannock is a very, very simple type of bread. I think it was originated from Scotland and was eventually taken on by the native people from Canada or something like that. And it's basically been used over the centuries as like a survival bread. Like you're on the trail, you've got basic ingredients literally to survive, like flour, maybe a bit of salt, maybe the odd spice, but maybe not. And you literally just mix it together with some water, and it just is literally just to keep you going. And a lot of people that go camping like to make bannocks because it's easy to make, easy to cook. You ain't got to bring a lot of ingredients, and it's kind of cool thinking that you're sat by a campfire making something that somebody would have made and ate 200 years ago, say. Even longer ago, I don't actually know the dates. Anyway, enough waffling on, let's get to it. I've quickly rinsed out my pot. Put some plain flour. See, I'm going to do a bit of a twist on it. I can't just do things plain, can I? Okay? So a little bit of flour in there. No idea how much, we'll find out. Just put a load in. Get in there. Bit of olive oil, why not, I've got it. There we go, bit of olive oil, bit of salt, bit of pepper, and I've got some tomatoes that I grew in my garden. So, well, I ain't foraged anything today really, well, not today, I'll get to that in a sec. But I grew these tomatoes. I'm just going to very simply tear them in half. All rustic and all that. Just get in there. There you go, that'll do, probably. But what I have got with me is last year I found a load of massive porcini mushrooms, and it's a bit early for that. We've not had much rain apart from today, but I dried a load, as you can see there. I've had these in a jar. I'm going to crumble these in here, and they're going to help flavour my bannock. Right, now just to add a bit of water to bring it together. And stir it. Got a fork here. If you're wondering why my finger looks like this, I cut it earlier. And this is the first and only time well, it's the first and will be the last time that I forgot to bring my first aid kit. So literally, I've got a labia wipe and it's tied on with a bit of paracord because it was gushing. And I've got this piece of slate on here now. I'm just going to let it heat up and sterilise itself. And I'll probably put a little bit of oil down to stop it sticking. I've got the slate on some coals. Just had to cool it down because it was a bit hot. The oil was literally setting on fire, and we don't want that, do we? Okay. There we go. More like it. Let's just dump a load of this on there, shall we? Might be able to see a bit now. There we go. I've made this quite wet. I've added more flour again. Right, there we go. Might oil up the spatula. So they don't stick. Better. Spread this out like that. A little closer to the fire. Wait for it to cook. Let's have a little gander, shall we? Oh. Don't look amazing, but we'll see how it tastes when it's cooked. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's go, guys, let's go. I've done some gravy in here. Bit lumpy, but it'll have to do. It'll have to do. Got my bannock. A little bit toasty on the edges. Bloody hot. Break it. It's already doughy. Bread, really. Chuck some of that in there. And the so the chicken. Look at it. Oh, all the fucking fat's dripping off it. Let's just hope that it's cooked, shall we? Looks pretty cooked to me. to this bad boy. Oh, look at it. Juicy. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Crispy skin, juicy meat. And with some nice seasoning too. Let's just try some of this raw. Well, not raw, sorry. Plain. Without the gravy. Bloody hope it's not raw. Mmm. That is beautiful. Just try some of this bannock on its own. Tastes as you'd expect, to be honest. It's not amazing, but it's not disgusting. That really crunchy, doughy bread. Don't really taste much tomato or mushroom. I'm going to eat it the same. I'm going to eat it anyway, because I'm hungry. But chicken and bannock and gravy. Ah, that chicken is incredible. This chicken is incredible. Mmm. See how this bannock is in the gravy. Quite nice. I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll catch up with you while I'm having a drink just before I go to bed. Oh, well, that was an interesting one, wasn't it, eh? Pissed it down, stopped. Probably going to piss it down again. Slice my finger open, making this bloody skewer. Yeah. Apart from that, I'm glad to be back. Good to be back outside. No idea how well I'm going to sleep in this thing. We'll find out, won't we? I'm sure the whiskey will help. Thanks for watching, if you're still on, if you haven't turned it off yet, that is. It all helps. Please give it a like, a love react, a share, whatever you feel like. It is appreciated if you do that. Yeah, I'm just going to sit here now, carry on drinking my whiskey out of this horn, try and feel like a wild man. Yeah, relax in front of the fire. If there's any battery left in the morning, I'll film that. We'll find out. I'm on about 19% at the moment. I need to get myself a proper camera, really, don't I? Stop filming it on my phone. Maybe that's something I need to look into. Enough waffling. I'm gonna relax, and I'll hopefully see you in the morning. Good night, guys. Right, it's about 5:30 in the morning. I've barely slept, and the battery's about to cut out, so I'm gonna pack up and head home because well, the battery did cut out quite abruptly. Yeah, it was alright, apart from the fact I got no sleep, maybe an hour. I'm nice and dry, so that's one thing. I can't wait to go have a shower and go and lay in my own bed. Probably have a bit of a nap. Should probably sort my finger out. It started bleeding again. Gonna go and soak it in some TCP, wrap it up. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again next time. Much love. See you later.